Y'all, welcome to another episode of A Contagious Smile. I about blundered that. Unstoppable with my wife, Victoria, and
You,
of course, myself.
you did a little redneck to it. You had a little redneck spice.
So, we had a big day today with our daughter, Faith,
Speak.
and tomorrow, my wife will be a little bit out of it, having a surgery herself.
This is not faith. This is
So,
not faith.
there's another young man I want to try to get on our show. He was a coworker back when I lived in Florida, and he recently found out he has stage 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to reach out to him and see if he'd like to come on our show. Just give us, his perspective now.
Right.
He's a young man, probably 38-ish, maybe, with
Really?
4 kids.
I thought he was older than that.
So we'll see about getting him on.
Well, not that we don't have a ton of things going on already, but let's do something good. So, our beautiful girl Faith released her
Yeah.
fifth, fifth, fifth book called Phoenix Whispered Legacy, Rain's loving tribute to her beloved parents. This was a complete surprise for Dad because she had to get my help a little bit on the ins and outs of this book a little. It has been pulled and re-edited and republished. But it is so beautiful and so sweet.
It really is.
And I don't know how anyone who doesn't have an ounce of compassion or heart or just anything full of love can't just fall in love with this book. It's so beautifully written. You know, we all talk about our daughter and how much we love her. You know, she is developmentally delayed. She's got some executive function disability and that aspect. She to me is not disabled. She to me is not medically fragile, no matter what the doctors say. She is a powerhouse to be reckoned with. Like, she's unstoppable. Like, literally, they say she can't do it, and she says, "Watch me." And she has done everything the doctor said she wouldn't. So, she wrote this beautiful book thanking us for saving her life. And it's like, we want to thank her, you know? So we want to support her. It is on Amazon. She has her little icon on the back that she uses where it says Unbreakable. It's her, and now she's into fashion design. So we're trying to support that as well. So go check out any of her 5 books, yet alone this one, because it's faith. That's all you can say is it's faith, you know?
It'll be on the website, y'all.
So give me more work to do. Thanks. So something I have been working on, I'm in the process of getting almost like a trilogy of books out about domestic violence, how you can prepare your escape plan, to a book about narcissists and how they really are behind the mask. And just so much is coming here in the very near future. But something that is really, and anyone who knows me knows I am very much about advocating for women like myself who've gone through domestic violence, but also children. And I really want to take an even more, I hate the word aggressive, but I want to take a more forwarding step in helping kids, because in the last year, statistically, 1 in 7 kids is being abused. And they say that number is very incorrect because the kids are afraid that if mommy and daddy get in trouble, then when they get back from being in trouble, they're going to get abused again. So they don't want to report it. So
I just saw a picture of a little girl with a piece of tape over her mouth, and it written on the tape said, "If you tell anyone,"
yep.
Dot dot dot.
And the thing is that the parents think it's okay that they can have a bad day. That's fine in their world. But if the child has a bad day, then it's not justified. And I'm looking at these beautiful kids who A, did not ask to come into this world. None of us raised our hand and said, can we please come into this world today? And parents are not all, but a good section of parents are using children not for children's sake, like we think of it, but like for government assistance, for their own punching bag, for leverage to, and I hate to say this because I'm a woman, but some women use it as a pawn to keep a man. You know, I'll be the first to say I've heard that this has happened. I know people who've done it. I think it's wrong, but you know, it's still being done.
We've heard of some women fostering or adopting more children just because of the financial
Absolutely. If you foster a child with special needs, you get so much money, it's unheard of. But then, you know, and you get it for as long as you have them, and you get even more if you adopt them. Now, take that into consideration for a minute. So you get all that, you get insurance on top of it. But then let's look at you and I for a minute. You know, we are hardworking American family who bust our ass to have a roof over our head and help other people. We are so selfless that, you know, when everything is going on, we still do everything humanly possible to help other people. And we ask for nothing back. We don't. If we can help, we will try our best to help.
Well, we have asked only one time in the past for the GoFundMe.
Correct.
When Faith was in the hospital.
And Whitney set that up for us.
We need to stay by our side.
Right. But I'm saying, like, we've given away so many beautiful pups. We've done so many things. I mean, Faith has been raising toys and things since she was 4.
We recently gave away a scooter.
Yes. And literally since she was 4, she's done fundraising and never asked for a single thing in there, ever. And that's just her heart. That is who she is. And it's amazing. But then you see these parents that always have their hand out. But then we, as parents who need it, you know, and I'm not saying all of the government assistance, like we need that supplemental insurance. We need that full coverage insurance. Because I mean, think about it. You're not going to get rich on disability. It's just not going to happen. But let's say the average child gets $800 a month. Let's just do a fair number. And you get $800 a month. Well, let's just say you have a $10 a month copay on some meds, or like we saw today and earlier in the week, because we were at the hospital again this week with Faith, that we're at $20 for parking just then, you know, and then the gas, and gas isn't cheap. So how do they expect anybody? You're not trying to live in a mansion, you're not trying to whatever, but you've got to be able to take care of your child. And, you know, there's certain things that come into factor that I don't think, you know, people take into consideration. Like Faith has to stay at a cooler temperature because of all of the stuff she's had. And so if she gets overheated, we could go into an episode within minutes. Like it becomes a really big deal. She gets very red-faced and she gets hot, and then she starts to get a headache, and it's just like a domino effect. And so we would have a higher power bill than some of the other people. Or, you know, the fact that she has to make up calorically what she can't take in orally. So by food, then, so, you know, like she likes her Starbucks, and she can have, we get them at Costco because it's the cheapest, but she can have one for every, like, however many bottles of water she drinks. And that's pricey. But, you know, you and I are so frugal. We don't go out, you know, to nice restaurants. We still wear the same grungy clothes we've had forever. We don't go buy designer purses or shoes, or, you know, like we've never been on a vacation, and we've never been on a honeymoon, you know, and we have been so frugal on everything. all the time.
And let me tell you, folks, I, in my opinion, I am a millionaire
Could you
because
explain that?
because I have this loving woman with a big heart, an awesome freaking daughter, and I couldn't want anything more.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
And I didn't pay him. But literally, like just when things are on sale, we save, and that's when we get things. And you know, it's so hard. And when you like when I had faith, and they were like, you need to get on disability for her, you need to do this, you need that. The prerequisite was so ridiculous. Like, you can't have a car worth more than $2,000. You can't have more than like, and the numbers might have changed. So please forgive me if I'm not right on the numbers for right now. Like 2,000 in the bank. You have to liquidate all of it before they'll even consider giving you this disability. Well, when she had her tracheostomy, I was changing that tube almost daily at one point, and they only give you like 3 or 4 a month. And it's a piece of plastic, but it's like a couple $100 for each one. But she never had a stoma infection. She never had RSV. She never had these things. But it's like, here you go with the Senate and the Congress who have set salaries that are 6 figures, and and they're set. They get their salaries even after they leave, and so they're set. Like, seriously, it's wrong, especially when we have people like AOC. Sorry, I am not an AOC cheerleader. Are you? Do you even know who AOC is?
That's that woman.
Cortez. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
You mentioned.
Yeah.
So how many of our listeners out there have special needs loved one in their life that are having similar issues, or can add something to these type of stories?
Right.
If you have a special need loved one in your life, a child, a sibling, maybe even a parent, I don't know. You can reach out to me at Solomon
the number
4 at thecontagiouspa.com and see about getting you on the show here.
Well, you got to brag.
I do brag.
Tell everybody.
You've got a beautiful, awesome wife.
What Faith did the other day, I'm so proud of her. The other day, but just don't be geographic and just kind of generic, but it's so big
so
for
hard
her.
to be generic. So, how can we put this? She observed two of the one of the greatest narcissistic people she has encountered, and one of the I shouldn't say dumbest blondes, but I don't know what category to put her in. But for her to restrain herself, to show discipline and the maturity level that she displayed right then, to not explode, was just it was a proud moment for us as parents. What she done was, and I related this to Nightmare on Elm Street movie we recently watched, where the girl took back her energy from Freddy Krueger, took back her power that she gave them. And that's what our little girl did. She held back and not displayed exactly what they thought she would do upon seeing them. So she was freaking awesome in our boat.
And the thing is that people think they can never get to that point, that they can never get to that level. And let's give you just a tiny little bit more insight so it makes a little more sense.
Yes, thank you.
We've been no contact with my biological parents for close to 4 years now. And they have not reached out to either of us. And you know what, I'm okay that they don't reach out to me, but when you have a granddaughter who literally was as she says, dancing with the Reaper.
And won.
To me, she kicked the Reaper's ass, but you're looking at 15, 20 times that between the coding and everything that she went through. and they know about this, and they never reached out. And it's not just my bio family. His did the same too. Not all of his, not all of mine, but my bio parents did not. And we literally ran into them, not physically, but we saw them. And of course, I pulled right up in front where she was. She was parked illegally at that point, and I pulled up, and she literally looked like, I don't know, you want to say a deer in the headlights for the first, I don't know, a couple seconds. And then when she realized that it was us, she would not look at us anymore. Like she immediately grabbed her phone and was texting, like, where are you? Come outside. She's here, like whatever. And continued to present her eyes to either the rearview mirror where she was trying to find her husband or the side mirror, and wouldn't look in our direction for whatever reason. And then Faith was just sitting there, not believing that she was right in front of us. And then out walks my biological dad, who gets into another vehicle, and he had to come past us to get by. And they both drive by us. Neither would even look in our direction. Neither would even turn their head remotely in our direction. They literally looked out the driver's side window, because the way they were going, we would have been on their passenger side, and didn't even look at us. Now, and I've said this to my husband, because to me, it's not about me, it's about Faith. They did not even try to say a word to her after we almost lost her. And she's basically been in the hospital since December of last year. And we went from 34 surgeries to over 53 at this point. And not a word, not how's she doing? Can we see her? Nothing. And of course, Faith is spitting image of me. She's like, my mom got an amputation and you haven't seen her, but you know what happened and you haven't even tried to talk to her either. You don't even care to see my mom. Blah, blah. But see, Faith back in the day would have stuck up for me no matter how much I tried to shield her. She was, and always has been, and will be, very protective, as I am for her. And she didn't have a filter, to say it safely. And that's one of the things I love about her. She always uses her voice. Well, she did say, let me off my chain, and I was like, what are you talking about? And it was a metaphor for her, like, let me get out of the vehicle and say something. And then she didn't try. The doors were not locked. We weren't parked. She didn't try to go for the door handle. She stayed right in her seat. And then when they left, she was like, this is the very first time where I felt nothing. And I was so full of like,
right,
being so proud of her, and I just was that moment of, such being proud, because I'm in my 40s and it took me
a long time,
all of this time to get where our kid is,
right.
And she's not 20, and she was so amazing. And we told her that, metaphorically, what that meant was her not getting out and starting anything, because misery loves company. And had she gone out there and given them that fuel, then they would say, oh, we still have our, claws into you. Oh, we're still, affecting your life.
Still rile you up.
Right. And obviously, we don't give two shits about you, but we know we have our hold on you. And she didn't give them that. And she was like, I felt nothing when I saw them, like nothing. And I said, you just give them the biggest taste of your own medicine. And you know what? They hate it. They hate it. They want to have that control. They want to have that final say. They want, because they're miserable, they want you to be miserable. And they couldn't even look at you. Like, they couldn't even look you in the eye. And I said, you celebrate this victory, because it's huge and you deserve it and you earned it. And I'm so proud of you.
You think it had something to do with my influence?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because she is daddy's girl.
No, she's not. Do you want to bring her in here again?
No, she's taking a shower.
A what?
Shower.
Is that the redneck urban leak? Okay. What is a what?
Shower.
Okay.
You're the Shire.
Okay. And tomorrow I'm seeing what kind of doctor?
Hematologist?
A hematologist.
I don't know what you're seeing.
What's a hematologist?
I don't know.
Where did you get You're going to be seeing a proctologist for your colonoscopy that's coming up. He finally scheduled it. Yeah, so pop goes the weasel on that one. Otolaryngologist.
That's right. Otolaryngologist. You folks out there say that word. Otolaryngologist.
No.
Yes.
How about you want to see how many words I can say you can say?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Let's continue our show. Keep it on track. Left field.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're gonna be like that.
You were in left field at the doctor's today.
You know what?
I had to bring you back around.
I was it was so honoring that somebody was like, you know all this. I don't even know why I'm telling you this. And so he's like,
oh, the doctor?
Yeah. So he's like, I'll tell your husband. He's like, because you already know all this. And he's like, you're a scientist. And it was just that to me was the best compliment ever. Like, just, not about anything else. From an outside person?
Right.
I'm saying from an outside
praise
party.
You all the time.
I said from an outside person, not saying from my husband. I'm saying from an outside person. That's what I said. Like it was very flattering to hear that.
Oh, okay.
Not from my listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Not from my husband, an outside person.
You know what was also flattering?
If you mention, let's have this because everybody loves our playful banter. Let's go. You want to talk about that TikTok video?
No.
Oh, no?
I was talking about your Hispanic friend.
No. But
Yes.
You know what? Here, you can say this about it. So we had this person, and I'm not going to be in, anything specific, whatever, who reached out and wanted something, and every excuse came up under the sun. And it wasn't just reaching out once. This person reached out like 4 different ways, 4 different times, then reached out to my husband, and then calls my husband and starts talking about everything except what she should have been trying to talk about. Like she offered to pick him up, she offered to take him to her home, and I'm sitting right there. I say nothing. Now, my husband will tell you that when it comes to jealousy, I have 0. Is that safe?
That's great.
None.
Why are you not jealous?
Because I've never been jealous.
Because is not an answer. Because why?
It is too an answer.
No.
Because I've never been a jealous woman. Ever.
Okay. That doesn't answer my question. Why are you not jealous about me?
Because you won't do that.
There you go. Good girl. That's what I'm looking for.
So this TikTok video he did. Anyway, so this
all started because I tried to sell an item.
Right. And then she comes back and says something so out of left field for me. Oh, that was yours anyway. Said something so far out left field. She's like, oh, I have to you. It's only been my husband speaking. And no, it hasn't been your husband speaking. It's been you. And no, And she goes out like so far. You think I went out in left field? No. She goes way out and says something like, you're jealous of me. And that's why you have a problem. And I was like, your POS car has nothing to do with what you were trying to get. Your 2 dogs, your snow blow machine, your Snoopy adventure. I don't care. Whatever it is you want to talk about has nothing to do with this. She said, oh, you're jealous. And I was like, okay, I don't know where you're going with this. And all I said very soft and quietly in the message was, okay, obviously you don't know me. I'm not jealous. I know where my husband is. I know where my husband will be. And you are subconsciously like throwing this out there because you have your own insecurity. So I wish you good luck. Hope you find what you're looking for. Give me a reason to call, text, or smoke signal us again. And the reason I had to reiterate this was obviously she didn't understand because she would message, and women get this. She would message my husband like before it would go ding and ding and ding. It was like repeat on like just rerun over and over and over and over again. And it was later in the evening. And you're like, and he'll tell you how I think, he says all the time, like, I'm so lucky to have a wife that's, has a good sense of humor. What is it you said the other night? It was really sweet. You have a good sense of humor. You're not jealous. And he's like, it's such a refreshing.
It is very refreshing. My wife is a very clean woman, meaning.
Sorry.
Meaning.
I'm going to refrain.
This is my soulmate, y'all. I don't have to, when I go to work, I don't have to worry, even though we have 10 or 11 cameras here. I don't have to worry that
more than that.
Joey Bag of Donuts from down the street is watching when my truck leaves the driveway to come over here and have an affair with my wife. I know my wife is clean and I trust her.
Say it.
No. I trust her implicitly. They know I'm a redneck and I can't talk right.
Awesome. Implicitly. Decent. Okay.
Whatever. So I'm so proud to have a wife like that because in the past I've had cheater wives, plural.
You've had like.
So, I'm always thankful, and I tell her all the time, thank you for being a trusting wife. I can sit here and talk to another female, almost about anything on whether it be, marketplace, Facebook, or any social media, and the wife's right here, and and she trusts me.
I'll even walk out of the room.
And then I trust her. She's in here. She's doing Zoom calls. She's doing videos. She's talking to folks all day long. She's on the computer, and then
I don't even talk with celebrities.
I don't control where my wife goes. I don't keep track of her. We have our phones to where we can find each other, but that's also on our kid's phone, and we show her that she's not, specifically excluded for that one purpose.
Danger.
Yes,
yeah.
We do it for all of us. Like today, here's a good example.
Because my husband always gets lost everywhere he goes, like in an airport parking lot. Go ahead, sorry.
Only for an hour. Yes, that was an hour. So today, I took time to cut the grass here late in the evening. Well, I ran up on a snake, and of course, being dad, I grabbed the snake and called the wife and tell her, "Hey, send Faith to the window so I could show her."
In fairness, I'm also playing like devil's advocate because snakes don't bother me, and she is petrified.
She's been petrified for years, and I have been working on her.
Right. But she wants me to be the same way with her. And I'm like, I can watch them on TV. I can like look at them. I can go next to them. I'm fine with them. I mean, I don't want one as a pet, but I'm fine with them. I don't have any issue with them. And she can't even look at one. She flips her.
So she came to the window and I'm still outside.
She had no idea.
And you saw the snake.
I did.
And she saw it through the camera?
Yeah, she didn't even make it to the window.
Okay.
I couldn't even get her to come to the window.
So after releasing the snake in the neighbor's yard.
Did you put it far enough where it won't come back?
It was a baby redneck snake. Very harmless.
Well, I know that.
Worms and bugs. So I come back and talk to my daughter. I'm sorry, our daughter.
Thank
you. And I said, "Baby girl, what did you see?" She said, "I saw you holding a snake." I said, "Okay, let me change your perspective on this." I said, "Dad was out there and holding the snake that he caught. Why did he catch the snake? To remove it from our yard because he knows that our girl doesn't like snakes." Okay? I said, "You saw that the way I see it now, correct?" She said, "Yes." I said, "So Dad's out there doing his job, protecting you. He's not trying to harass you and prank you and put a snake in your bed. He's trying to protect you, and he's showing you that." So I was just trying to get her to see it differently. That way, she puts more trust in me. And
did you also pick up like how big was that? But that snake skin, it was several feet.
Oh, it's like 3.5 feet long.
Right. You picked this up.
Right.
And then she's like, oh, like she, what? Because she thought it was a snake, not the skin. And I'm like, it's a snake skin. Now, going off of what you say, whenever we go and we're walking around the store or anything like that, because I hate shopping, and we see snake skin, I'll go and touch it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, hey, feel this. And I was like, what do you think? It's going to come back to life?
Right.
Like, it's not. She won't even touch shoes or a purse or a wallet or anything that was once a snake. And I'm like, it's just the skin. And she's like, and it can stay over there. And she will go away and walk all the way around, not to come near it.
And that's the other thing I pointed out to her, that one, dad caught the snake, protecting you to get rid of it. And two, dad's not going to pick up a poisonous snake.
Yes, you would.
And I said, dad's not that dumb. And oh, brother, that opened up the door. She started laughing. She said, well, you had your moments.
Welcome
So,
to playful banter.
yes.
Yes, but you went off in left field there, Victoria, because you were talking about how we have
We're
this.
talking about our children.
No, we were talking about this trust issue we have, with the opposite sex. The thing is that he's in other people's houses. He's gone to someone's house and they opened the door in a towel, and he
I know they came inside the garage with me in a towel.
right, and
Nothing but a towel and a smile.
he came home and told me, and I was like,
Sure
okay, And the thing is, what
How many times have I told you women's ugly?
I don't know,
With
buddies.
Most of them are older.
But
Yeah,
then,
because
it's kind of like he says, I know previously he's had to like lock his phone, and he didn't allow them in his phone, his others. But with me, I have the code, and and he's like, babe, my phone's ringing, check it. And I'm like, no, it's not my phone. He's like, I don't care. Or the text message goes off. He's like, who's texting me? And I'm like, I don't know, it's not my phone. And he's like, babe, it's fine, open it up. And I'll say, hey, like my phone might be upstairs charging, and I'll say, hey, can I look at something on Google? And he's like, you don't have to ask, just pick up my phone. And I'm the exact same way, unless it's like Father's Day or a birthday and we might see something. And he's that way too. But we hide nothing from each other, nothing. And it's so refreshing because you don't have to worry. We tell each other, well, first we tell each other everything. And then second, I hand him my phone, and he even says to Faith, he's like, look, I'm going through mom's phone. And she's like, okay. And he's like, what if she has somebody else? And Faith's like, my mom would never cheat on you, ever. And she goes, but if you cheat on mom, snip, snip, I see you, boy. She's just hilarious. And we have that understanding. And let me tell you, when you have that in your marriage, I think it takes it to a whole different level, because there's a respect and there's an understanding. And it's just, there's almost like a freedom to it where
there damn sure is.
Don't have to worry, like before my husband, if I've never been a jealous person, but like if I was seeing someone and they were like, oh, I'm gonna go out with somebody else. Okay, good, nice knowing you. I'm out, I'm done. Not even gonna think twice, ever. And I hate to say that because I would have them replaced by the end of the day. Like, next, let's go. Who am I going to
Thank you.
now? But I didn't do it with you. You're the only one who ever broke my heart.
I said thank you for acknowledging how beautiful you are.
Whatever. But I'm not gonna say it. But you're the only one who ever broke my heart. And Faith actually told him, mom used to compare any guy who ever talked to her to you. And there was like this standard, like, okay, you're coming up and approaching, but you're not Michael. And so you will never be. And so bye. I'm not into wasting my time. Bye. And it's, just, I know, like, it's so weird because had you said to me 30 years ago, you're going to meet your soulmate and you're going to know it, I've been like, just say no to drugs. And then I would think about that commercial where you crack the egg, this is your brain on drugs. But the night I met you, I knew. And ever after I knew, and I've told Faith 100 times, like we were with this doctor today, and he even said, years and years ago, when I first met her 10 plus years ago, whatever it was, 15 years ago, she told me about Idiot, the bad man. And she said, there's only one man I will ever let be a father to Faith, because I was being asked, is there a male role model in her life? And I said, there's only one man I would ever let hold that level. And it's him. And he told Michael that today. He's like, that's absolutely true. Like, and that's not the first doctor. Many of them have all said, oh, we've heard all about you. We know about you. And that's true because I've always known. And it's just like to lay down next to your best friend is such a gift. And we laugh all the time. I don't even think that's a fair thing. Like, we're at the doctor's office and we're cracking up. We are in the car, we are cracking up. I mean, I don't know how to say that. Like, we are always laughing every day, all three of us. The best thing ever is the playful banter between him and our daughter. It is downright hysterical. It is so funny. Part of her thing today was they were asking her some questions. She came in fit to be tied because they asked her a personal question and she wasn't having it. Like, just not gonna have it. And she let them know that it was not okay. And we got into the vehicle and she let loose. And of course, what does my husband do? What does my husband do?
Push that button.
The love of my life do. He takes that button and just almost gives his finger a seizure. Pushing that button. On the same subject, and she was like, Dad, stop. Dad, it's enough. Dad, it's enough. And then she's like, Michael, shut up. And like, and he's like, what did he just say? And she's like, I'm sorry, but I cannot deal with it. And I'm trying to drive in traffic, no caffeine, and it's like, it's a riot. They're amazing together.
So what's our statistics as far as gender who listen to our show? Do you know?
It's more females than males.
Okay, that's probably a give me.
But no, not as much as you think. Last time I
Well, that's
checked,
why I'm
which
asking.
is like a couple months ago, we were at 54% female
Is that right?
and 46% male.
Okay, give the microphone.
Dun, 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 dun.
So guys, let me talk to you.
No, I'm not saying.
Open up everything to your significant other. Okay? I did that upon marrying, even before I married this lovely young lady. I opened up everything to her, told her all them damn skeletons.
What?
Them skeletons.
Skillet?
Skeletons.
Skillet?
Pulled them all out of the closet, opened up every drawer, left every rug. I showed her everything, told her everything. And there might be some things I forgot, but pretty much everything was on the table before I married her, right? Because I wanted her to know who you're getting involved with.
I think I knew you.
You thought you knew me.
But you were stunned. You were stunned when you finally told me. You thought you had told me everything.
Yeah.
You were like, what was my reaction?
You knew some things that I didn't think you knew.
Of course. And then what was my reaction at the end? Okay, now what?
So you hear that? So it wasn't as bad as you think it might be. Okay, to open up, and when I say open up, I mean open up. Sit on the end of your bed naked with no clothes on and have this discussion with your significant other. Just let them know everything that you have kept hidden. Okay, and then if you're a cheater, okay, admit it, and then get rid of that loose end, that girlfriend, that boyfriend. Delete their phone number or whatever, and open up to your wife. Change your number if you have to. The amount of stress and freedom, as my wife explained, it's a good feeling, y'all. Okay, I can go to sleep instantly with my phone next to the bed or on her side of the bed. I don't care if she has my phone for the entire day. She can look at every little thing in the little black book, as it used to be called.
Right, but I never did.
Right, I have those side burner. In fact, we have every login and password to everything that we can think of that we're on, every account, every social media platform, everything. And we have it even written down in a book that we keep in our safe. I probably shouldn't have said that. Okay.
It went even better. you and I, like a lot of females, Kim, bless her heart, may she rest in peace. She would never have her ex-husband who passed away. She would have never shared our information with each other. Like if I wanted to talk to Steve, I would have to say, "Hey, can I talk to Steve for a minute?" And she'd say, "Okay," and hand him the phone because she was so insecure, believe it or not, that she was worried he would flirt or hit on me or whatever. And you can put me in a room full of men and I'm not going to flirt. And if you have somebody, I'm not touching them. And I should be the wife's best friend because I'll tell you, hey, your man's scheming, right? But she never would let her friends become friends with Steve ever. And you and I don't have that. We have like you're friends with my closest friends. Like you talk to them, you're on social media with them. They reach out and talk to you and they have conversations or text you or whatever. And I don't ask what they say. And you had the same thing with me and vice versa. And it's refreshing because you don't have to go around and say, what did she say to you? What
Right.
Like now I do that because I hate surprises. If he's working with someone to do something I don't like for a gift or whatever, but that's different. But there's such a freedom to know that that's there.
Yeah, I don't have to keep up with the lies. That's one
I
of
didn't know how you did
the
it
main
when I
things.
really learned the truth back then.
I don't know how women are, but us guys, it's not that we just have one on the side. We may have multiple. And to keep up one lie with, A, and then one lie with B, and then one lie with C,
We were doing so much.
and then come back to your spouse. It's just, it's such a huge relief.
Did you ever feel guilty for cheating on your spouse? Nah.
That I don't remember because it's been, God, what, 20, 30 years ago? Yeah, I'm old, y'all, by the way. I had a birthday here recently, which was I had a good birthday, and
I made you cake.
and an excellent wedding. They were both in the same day. I got remarried to the soulmate of my life.
We do it every year on a different date so that he can use the excuse he doesn't remember.
And we added last year's ring to our copper tree of life. That it's
coming along.
It's coming along. It's still kind of ugly looking.
It's not ugly.
Well, it's it's kind of one of those things, like I don't know, you pity it.
No.
But it's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have 3 sets of rings on there now. So we get married every year, renew our vows, and we add the previous year's ring to a branch.
And you really are taken to this year's ring.
I love this ring. This is awesome. It's a black. It's not onyx, but it's tungsten with a gold band in the top of it,
nugget.
sort of, kind of nugget. So obviously we
can't afford the nugget rings.
As my wife said, we are frugal. We go with the tungsten because they're comfortable on our skin, and they don't. I've had an issue where I broke out here recently with a silicone band that I've had for a while. But yeah, so guys, if y'all are listening,
and look in your spouse's eyes and
oh my God, I look at my wife all the time. Every podcast, I look at her eyes like almost the entire show. If I'm not looking up at one of the lights in the cameras. So.
And look your spouse in the eyes and say something from your heart.
I love you.
Just for that, I have to tell everybody this joke. So today at the office, my husband, I make these faces because I'm very face making, whatever you want to call it, because I have a master's in sign language. And so you really are expressive in your face when you're talking with your hands. And so I very frequently cross my eyes. I know they're gonna get stuck that way. That's bogus crap. But I cross my eyes, and my husband today pulls the Jeff Foxworthy out and says, I can cross my eyes too. And I said, okay, let's see. And he tried. And I'm like, when are you going to do it? He's like, I am doing it. And I was like, no, seriously, when are you gonna do it? And he really believed in his big old heart of hearts that he was crossing his eyes. And I said, babe, you're not crossing your eyes. He was like, yes, I am. I feel it. Okay. No. So he's like, take a picture. And I said, okay. So he's like, tell me when. I said, when? And so he tried so hard. He had tears in his eyes. He says, my eyes are burning. Like the little cartoon, my biscuits are burning. But he was like, my eyes are burning. My eyes are burning. And I said, here. Now, I turned the phone around, and anybody who's ever seen Dr. Dolittle, when they take the tail up and put the thermometer in the butt, and the animal goes, hello, it's about what Michael looked like when I showed him this picture of his eyes because he thought he was
We
fun.
were cracking up laughing.
It was hilarious. And he was like, stop, I have to pee. And I'm like, well, sorry. So Faith comes in, and I said, guess what? Dad thinks he can cross his eyes. And she was like, yeah, right. And so he tries, and I show her the picture, and she cracks up and she's laughing hysterically. And so she's like, hey. And so she puts her glasses down and she crosses her eyes. And then she goes on to say, I said, she's got you wrapped around her finger. She's like, no, all 10. And he's like, what? And she's like, yeah, all 10. And I love it because we always laugh. Like, it doesn't matter. We make fun times with anything. Like, she's just hysterical. I think the best, and I know you don't want me to say this, but she does give him a pretty hard time about his past because he has told her that he's a reformed slut. And so she does hound him about this quite frequently. So it was like the other day she says, Dad, mom has to take her wedding ring off for her surgery. And he's like, that's okay. I know it's good, whatever. And I'm watching the time because I can't eat anything after a few minutes. So she says, well, not only that, but she's basically naked on the OR table. And I'm like, I don't understand that because let's be real. If you're having, let's just say, something done on your head, why do you have to be naked under the OR table? Like, women can wear cotton bra and panties. It's not going to catch fire because there's no metal. Why can't we have a little dignity under there, right? Because, I am heterosexual, and I don't have anything wrong with people who go whichever way, but I can look at a female and say she's a pretty person, right? There are pretty nurses out there, but it seems like whenever I'm having surgery, now if you're married or whatever, you're automatically off the list. And when I was single and I was having surgeries like every 2 weeks, I would be like, we don't have a McDreamy, we don't have a McSteamy, we don't have any eye candy I don't have eye candy in my OR. And I'm like, I literally come in here, I'm laying here naked on the table, vulnerable, and I've got nobody to look at. Nothing. It's just whatever. So Faith goes on and says, Mom's going to be on the table without her wedding ring on, naked, with an all-male staff tomorrow. And of course, Michael's like, wait, what? And it's just hilarious. And now she's torturing him with this. And she told me privately earlier, she goes, I will remind Dad while you're back there that these men are doing things to you on the table and you can't do anything about
That's not right. The last time we were in, she sent me one of the hottest male.
Oh, that's hilarious. You got to tell everybody.
God.
That was hilarious. You got to tell that.
Go ahead.
No, you have to tell it. Okay, you can help me tell it. So I, as all women do, have to go to the OBGYN and have our, duck bill procedure that we all hate. And so I'm going in for this procedure, and of course, Faith is with me. And so I had told her that the day she starts to have intercourse is the next day she comes in and gets this bill, and woohoo, and that's like what happens, which is, by the way, moms, the best talk you could ever give to your kids, because then she's like, I'm never having sex because I don't want that thing near me.
Remind them how bad it hurts.
And so I'm going in, and my surgeon, my OB is a surgeon, and she is amazing. And she has her chief in there, and her chief is of Asian descent. Well, and it's a female. She's a female. Super nice and super pregnant, like 8.5 months pregnant, right? And Faith is in there just talking for a minute, and then they're like, all right, sweetheart, you have to go right outside this door to the waiting area while your mom gets examined. And so she goes and sends my husband. What did you send you?
So a picture of a male nurse, a male doctor, and handsome as fuck, just muscular, handsome, black hair.
He was Asian.
What would you say? I would say 5 o'clock shadow beard, that looks good on some.
I didn't examine him that closely.
Oh, yeah. He was a handsome fella.
He was Asian.
And for her to send me that, knowing my girl, I knew she was pranking me. Okay.
Not at first, you didn't. You did not.
And I'll go along with it to get her to laugh, because we love to hear a laugh from our girl. Because let me tell y'all, those weeks
months
that she was with a ventilator down her gullet,
which I'll have tomorrow.
We begged to hear her. We couldn't wait to hear her talk.
Right.
But I always want to make her laugh, and to me that's Dad's job.
So you get this picture of this hot Asian guy who is,
and I'm like, oh hell no.
And she was like,
I'm coming in there.
Yeah, and she goes, I had to go to the waiting room, Dad, but I just wanted you to know she's in good hands. Here is the guy who's helping spread mom.
That is hilarious.
And I didn't see the picture. Well, she comes in and she shows the OB, the female OB, and the female Asian chief resident, and they both almost lost it. They were laughing so hard that one of them started having tears in her eyes. And she's like, I love these pranks. These are hilarious. And I said, can I see what you did? And I look at it and I went, oh my God. And so she was like, yeah, he's all up in there right now, Dad. And I'm like, oh my God. And she was like, yeah. And I said, why would you do this? And she goes, why would I not? And it made me feel worse, because later on he showed me this, and she looks at me and she goes, should I tell him that he looks just like your ex? And I was like, no. And she just thought it was hilarious to poke the bear. And
well, she's got some catching up to do, because when she came back from the hospital,
I'm gonna tell you, said that
I peeked out her bedroom. Barbie bed sheets, Barbie pillow,
was even better.
Pink bear, about 50 pink balloons, pink tissue paper, pinned to the wall, the ceiling. It was everywhere. Everything was pink.
And she comes in and she's like, I know you did something. I know you did something. Now, this kid has been in the ICU for months. She almost passed away numerous times. She can barely walk when we bring her home. And we knew, because she had her PICC line and like 3 other tubes and drains, that we were going to move her bed into our bedroom. So she would literally be right there, because both of us have our hearing. And so she would be in her bed across the room, but right there with all the equipment. So she opens the door and she looks over at it. She's standing there next to Michael, and there's like 50 balloons. And she's like, well, I know where all your hot air went. And she goes, you've had like months, and this is the best thing you could come up with? And she was like, because Mom never went home. You went home to like take care of the dogs and go to work when you had to. And this was all you got. And so she's patient as anything. She looks at me and goes, Mom, can you help me in the bathroom? And I'm like, yeah. So I walk her to the bathroom thinking she can't walk to the bathroom yet, because she hadn't been walking. And I take her to the bathroom, and she took a pillow, or no, I'm sorry, I apologize. She took a towel, made it like a pillow, and screamed in it. And she goes, I will not give this to him. What the F? And she was like, my room looks like Pepto-Bismol. And she was like, it's far. Hell no. And she was like, oh my God, it's on. I cannot believe he did this to me. He's gonna fix it. He's gonna fix it. I am so effing pissed. And I'm like, watch your mouth. She goes, I almost died. I don't have to watch my mouth. And you're like, touche. And so she literally is like, I am livid and I will not clean it up. I will not fix it. I'm going to get him. This is war. And so she walks out.
I didn't hear any of this.
Right. Because she had the water on and the pillow. And she walks out and she looks at you. She put her hand on you and she goes, nice try for an amateur. If you want to play in the big leagues, you got to step up your game.
Yep.
And I'm like, just a minute ago, she was in there just, and I'm looking at her and she just winks at me. That is faith.
Yep.
That is the relationship she has with her dad. And that is amazing. I love all of our amazing listeners and I want to thank you for that. And if I cut it short, I'm never the one who cuts it short. My husband's always the one who cuts it short because I am told I cannot, and this will not air tomorrow. It's going to air next week.
Monday.
So the thing will be off, but I'm not allowed to have anything to eat or drink after midnight. And what I don't understand is that, don't laugh, it's not funny, is that like if you go to the hospital, and I've had how many surgeries now?
About 187.
Not that's, I don't want that number, fix it. That's, I'm telling you.
Tomorrow you have 180.
That. So you go in, if you go in.
If you know, you know. What?
For surgery.
187.
And like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. arrival, then I understand not eating after or drinking after midnight. I'm fine not having food, but I have to have my tea. I have to have my unsweet tea. It's really not advantageous for people to be around me if I haven't had my tea.
You're around a redhead.
And I'm a redhead. And I'm half Yankee. So it really is not smart. So I have all those factors to play. Plus I have secondary concussion syndrome. So I get headaches every single day as it is. Just some days are worse than others. So I understand the whole like 5-6 hour thing. But I get told today that my time for my thing is late. Like not 9 late, like after lunch late. And I can't have anything after midnight. And I'm like, no, I don't care about the food, but you better go find me an anesthesiologist and understand that I'm coming in there having my tea. Because you have people who have emergent surgery, you have this, that, and the other. I'm having my freaking tea. I'm telling you, you don't want to come in that room if I have it. It's not smart. And so she writes me back and says, yes, you can have it up to 6 hours prior. And I'm like, great, that's fine. I'll be having a gallon. No problem. But it's just common courtesy. I mean, you're going to have us in there. I don't care that I'm hungry, whatever. And you make us hurry up and wait. If you have anybody who has surgery, let's say you have a 6 a.m. arrival and they don't start till 8:30, why do we have to hurry up and wait? I can understand 30, 45 minutes early in case they get done sooner and they can get you back sooner. I get that. But like an hour and a half, 2 hours early, that's ludicrous. I mean, seriously, why are you laughing at me?
One, because you talk about Mr. Chris. You haven't heard the commercial, have you? 2, you mentioned that you're half Yankee. Thought you had a little Southern in you.
I'm trying.
Oh, you stole my thunder, you heifer. You heifer. This is how well my wife knows me. I'm talking about the same page. We live on the same page all the time. And with that, we're gonna wrap it up and we're gonna get her a small snack here. Y'all keep listening and share what you can. We love it. We see that y'all share a lot of downloads that y'all keep of the episodes that we do. Y'all want to come on the show, please write me, Solomon.
Why is it only right to you?
At
Why can't they write to me? Because I get 20,000 emails a week.
That's right. I'm trying to take a little work a little off of you.
That means you actually have to sit at the computer.
And y'all stay safe. Okay. A contagious smile, unstoppable, Victoria and Michael, and Faith. Thank y'all.